So here are the first pictures of the Gr86. We had just sold the FRS. I was looking to get something else. I'm here looking through an insurance auto auction. Noticed this one with some light damage in the front. Found some quarter panel damage in the rear. The wing looks like it had some 3M tape. Not too bad. Side skirt looks like it was still there intact. And then moving on to the interior, it was immaculate. No airbags deployed. And also the engine bay, just everything looked in place. None of the frame looked out of place. Here it is, delivered. Just a bit of the quarter panel. So here it is off the car. You can see it's on, turned right on. Everything under here looks perfect. Engine sounds good. Looks like the grill survived, the emblem, this little vent piece here. The other one's gone, but it's not looking too bad. It's got stock wheels. It looks like what happened is they went off-road. They hit something here as they went off-road. So there's a bunch of dirt and stuff under there. But it didn't bend anything, you know, just that initial damage, ripped off the side skirt. It did hit, I'm guessing a tree branch hit this, caused a little dent there, but this quarter panel is perfect. I'm curious to what happened to this car. My guess is they were doing a little bit of canyon driving and probably fell down, lost some traction, and somehow hit this side. But let me show you guys the inside. So I went ahead and got the whole front end taken apart. Looking underneath, none of the structure under here got damaged. Everything is really, really nice. If anything, this was bent a little bit, just bent them back. But other than that, the whole structure underneath is looking super nice. I'm happy. Not even the part where the fender bolts too seems to have gotten damaged. So this is gonna be a really easy repair. We just gotta get all the parts. So I went ahead and test fitted the fender I bought. Found a silver one in town. And look at that. If only it was the same color, that would have been so clutch, but unfortunately found it in silver, but I got it for like half prices of what they cost at the dealership. And it even came with that little fender piece. Got the bumper test fitted as well. It's looking good. Look at that, everything lined up really well with the fender as well. I want to try to pop this dent out, and then what I'm going to be using is a basketball, stuffed it in there with an air pump. So let's see if we can get this dent to slowly pop out. Here, let me add some air. It's coming out pretty nicely. So the dent used to be all the way up here. Pushed it out, been pulling this back towards me, so I just gotta keep moving the basketball over a little bit. I'm probably gonna remove the wheel so I can kind of hammer on the inside, especially in this spot. Let's take some more out. You guys can see I got most of the body damage out. It's really difficult to get it out completely. So what we're gonna do is just try to like body work it a little bit more, try to hammer it in some certain areas. We're gonna sand this down and we're gonna start adding glaze. The shape is pretty much there, if you guys can tell. It's pretty much there. It's just all like bumpy from me having to pry everything out. But for the most part, the shape is there, and let's try to get this looking good. So here we are with the body work. I've been pulling, I've been welding and banging it out. This area here was really sunk in, but I was able to get the shape back to where it goes. Got this area flat. Same thing with this area where two pieces of sheet metal meet. I went ahead and tack welded it all the way through because they had separated. But everything's looking good, look at that. The shape is there, everything's coming out good. Same thing here. Working on the quarter panel a little bit more. I got the rough shape made for this part. You can see there from the top. It's nice and straight. Everything's looking good. Same thing underneath. So here's what it looks like so far. Look at that. Kind of hard to tell on camera, but shape's there. Everything's looking nice and smooth. I am working my magic on this quarter panel. And you can see there we got the body line mostly done. There's another body line that goes here. You can kind of see it in the reflection as well. And everything is getting to its spot where it's almost perfect. It's very smooth. The bodywork is pretty much done on the GR. Happy with that. It took me quite a bit to get that done. I'd say I've probably worked on it like a week straight. I started doing bodywork here. I forgot to show you guys. You guys probably saw this before, but I was just focused on getting it done. It looks like some of the tree branches hit here, and it dented it pretty bad. So I went ahead and reconstructed this area, kind of removed the dents, and then I just primered the whole bit. Now it's nice and smooth. So last week we couldn't get the car painted because there was so much more to do than we expected. There was a lot of sanding to do on the bumper. There's a lot of areas where the paint had glue on it from the previous wrap job, from the PPF and the actual wrap itself. As you know, they use it like wrap glue. And just a little bit more bodywork to do to make sure everything was nice and straight. So we got that done, and the car should be ready for paint now. So here is the quarter panel. You can see the body lines, everything's looking good. Got everything masked off. We have the fender here, the bumper, and then as well as this piece here. So you guys can see I masked it up all the way up to here. Even though we're only going to be painting here up to here, then I'm going to be clear coating to somewhere like here, and I'm just going to mist that way. So that way after this is done, we could just sand and polish this out, and it'll blend the clear coat in with the clear coat and not have to worry about any of the paint mixing in with the clear coat. So I got everything painted last night. Bumpers painted, quarter panels painted, nice and shiny, looking good. There's gonna be the blend transition, so I gotta sand this out and polish it. I'm gonna sand and polish the whole quarter panel anyways, but that's looking amazing. The fender is getting put on right now. Then I'm gonna have to pretty much start putting it all together. Now that we have the main pieces painted, I want to show you guys this part. Look at that. What damage? That was all beat up. I'm gonna have to put the mirror on and everything. Side skirt's off because it gets clipped onto the fender, so you have to remove it to remove the fender, unfortunately. But yeah, everything's on. I'm gonna install it all, and then I'm gonna go ahead and polish it all out. I think it's gonna look great. So here's the quarter panel. Got it all painted, polished, and it's looking good. Color match is looking really, really close. I'm happy with that. Put the tail light back on, and now that looks like a normal car again. Polished the wing a little bit because it had some scratches on it. Polished this section here as well. We got the mirror on. That was a big thing that was making the car look weird. And then also fenders on. I even put the side skirt with the fender piece. That looks good. Now what we're going to be doing is installing these Alpha X headlights. So instead of paying $1,000 for just the one base model headlight, we went with these. These are like 1,200 bucks. These are the Alpha X, so they have like a super type inner structure, and then the LED or the DRL is actually a lot longer than the factory one that comes in the Gr86. Actually, it's the same, huh? It's the same, but I feel like this one never lit up all the way, so I think it just stopped here. I can't remember, but this one has it all the way up to there, and they have like some extra little designs in there, the little red marks beside the LED bulbs. Looks cool. So we're gonna figure out how to install this. It came with a bunch of extra wiring, which I'm not sure what it's for, but it's a power and a ground setup. It should be plug and play, but we'll see what that's for. We gotta look it up. Tony got all the wiring done for the headlights, and right now he's just putting on the last little bits. He has the protective cover on there to make sure it doesn't scratch it, because look at them. Brand new headlights look so good. Let me show you guys a little animation it does. Oh, that's just a lock one. What about the unlock? Oh yeah, there it goes.
Nice.
It goes back and forth. glows a little bit. All right, here we have the bumper all put together, looking good. Got the emblem, the grill, and all the vents that go behind the bumper as well, and then the little lights that go on the side. So looking good. Now we can throw this on the car. So we got the bumper clipped on, and it is looking amazing. Oh, those headlights look good. You couldn't really see how nice they look until the bumper was on. Wow. So now we just gotta put the last little bracket that goes up there to bolt up the bumper. All right, another thing I put on is this little mud guard piece. I think it came out pretty good. It's lining up really well. This bumper bracket is a little loose, but it wasn't broken. It's just because it got pulled out from the accident, but I was able to push it back in. Bumper lines up really well with the quarter panel, and this piece looks great. So happy about that. I just got to clean up this wheel because it's all dirty from all the body working, and remove those little bottom trim pieces that the guy had on there. It's looking good. All right, guys. So since we got the Gr86 done, I've been looking for an appointment so we can take it to ADOT level 3 inspection, which is the Arizona Department of Transportation, is how they go over the car, make sure that everything is in like safety compliance. They check a couple things, making sure that everything's good. They also check your car, so they make you open the hood so they can kind of look over everything. And then if you pass all their checks, you know, you get a little form that now makes the car from salvage to restored salvage, which now makes it registerable, because a salvage car is not registerable unless you restore it first. So let's go get that done. So here we are on the move, driving the Gr86. Let's go to inspection. Oh, feels good. See the turn signal. That's sequential with the new headlights off this guy's truck. Here she is, a little dirty. Gotta finish it up, but it'll be good. Gotta clean it up when I get to the shop. So here's the car, all done up. It's looking amazing. Obviously the hood needs to be replaced. For those of you that don't know, the customer is gonna be getting a carbon hood. But overall, the car is looking amazing. Very happy with the end result. So passed inspection, and now what we need to do is wait for the customer. We're gonna take some coilovers and wheels off his old FRS, and we're gonna be swapping them over to this car since he's got some brand new TN coilovers. That way we can lower this thing and he can have all the mods on this car. So it's gonna be exciting. Got the TN coilovers off in the front with some stock suspension in there. So instead of removing all this and just having it swap over, I could just leave that one there, do everything here, and then we could just lift that one up later to install everything. Just makes it a lot easier versus having two cars lifted up. I'd have to put it on quick jacks. Just a lot of work. I had some Sachs dampers. That way this car will have something good on it for the new owner once he sells it. These are gonna be the stock wheels. So instead of putting the stock GR wheels, we're just gonna be putting some stock period correct or year correct wheels on it. They all have matching Michelins and they're like painted black, so they'll look cool because we're going to be putting the RPF ones on the GR. So we got the exhaust off the FRS header. The header's not going to go on it though. He wants to keep the stock header. Got the wheels off. Obviously they got a little bit of curving, but it's fine. Just the RPF ones. I traded them the stock header and the stock wheels for these wheels, so I'm gonna get to keep these. That way I can have a nice set of wheels for anybody that wants to go stocks. And then, yeah, taking this thing apart. And then we needed to take off this wheel anyways because we still haven't put the inner fender liner. So we're taking all that off so we can swap on the coilovers. So we're gonna make this thing low. So it's getting modified before it even gets sold. Pretty cool, huh, Tony?
Yes, sir.
So here we are. Tony's putting on the coilover.
Yes, sir.
Got the Flex A's up on it, so it's nice. It's funny because this car was modded before, right? With like the little things he had and the stickers. And it's already more modded than the previous one. I had it with the Alpha X headlights, coilovers, and a full exhaust, apart from the header because you didn't want to change it. But pretty cool that the parts from the old one transfer over to the new one. But I already knew that because I've had one of these before. So I knew what would fit and what wouldn't. It's looking good. Can't wait to see it when it gets a carbon hood. So that's why the hood's, for those of you that don't know, that's why the hood's still dented and damaged, because we're trading all the labor of swapping over his old performance parts in exchange for him just buying a hood or just taking the car like that. But yeah, let's have Tony finish up here and then we can put on the rears. Okay, we got the ISR front pipe on, and then with whatever this exhaust is, I have no idea, but we swapped it over. The rear coilovers are installed. Now we can put on the wheels in the back and then bring it down since everything else is installed already. Here we are with the RPF ones lowered. Looking pretty good. Show you guys how the back looks. And they're probably gonna come down a little bit, but I think that's a perfect height because these are 18 by 9.5, so they're kind of aggressive for the Gr86. So it having a little bit of a height gap might be nice for it to not rub. Plus it still has to settle, so it might even come down lower, but that looks good. Gray with black wheels looks really good actually. Oh, yeah. And RPF ones you can never go wrong with, so very nice. Okay, that one's getting picked up now with stock suspension and stock wheels, and later on the GR will be taken off. So today's the day that they're gonna pick this car up, so we're gonna go ahead and give it a little wash. And I'll wash the wife's car at the same time. You guys probably remember this from a previous video. Let's get these cars clean. So one of the things that was most scary for me is, since I was repairing the whole quarter panel on the other side, I knew that if I didn't bring it out to the exact measurement, then the fitment would never be perfect. So you can see there, with upgraded wheels, the wheels actually come out and then they stick out a little bit, right? This is actually a really, really nice spec, which I believe is like an 18 by 9.5, probably a plus 38 since it's from the old gen. Didn't really check, but on 245s you get that little bit of stretch, which actually makes the rear not rub. So you can have like a nice little space there. I was running 265s when I had mine, and I needed to shave down quite a bit. But with this setup, it seems to be pretty good. But you see how the wheel sticks out, or it's like almost like perfectly flush with the little mud guard, how it lines up with it, right? That's one of the things that I loved about this car, and how the wheels would line up like that, because the bumper actually is a lot smaller in the rear versus the old gen. So my fear was that since I was reconstructing the other side, we wouldn't get them to match on both sides, right? But after installing the coilovers and the wheels, look at that. Matches perfectly. Everything's lined up how it should be. And you know, my fears are gone, because now with that, you're able to see that the fitment is exactly the same on both sides, which is amazing, because a lot of the times when you have body repairs or something like that, sometimes the pool or the body work, it just doesn't line up the same, and you always have one tire that looks like it has more camber because it's more sunk in than the other. But not in this case. Look at that. That looks amazing. So super excited about that. Car is clean. Ben's on his way. He's gonna be the new owner of this Gr86. I got to drive it twice, once to inspection and once to go pick up some paint, just because I wanted to drive it with the new setup to see how it felt and if it drove straight. So there goes Gr86 number 2 that has been in my possession, and that will now be sold to someone else that's going to be upgrading from the old gen. old friend. He's had an FRS for the longest time. Met him a long time ago through another mutual friend, and he's a cool guy. I've done a couple things to his car, and now he's gonna be upgrading to this thing for not that much more. Basically, with the amount that he's gonna sell the other one for, this car is gonna be super inexpensive. He's gonna be saving like 10 grand over MSRP, or over with these costs normally like 10 to 15 grand. So he's getting a steal of a deal, and he's gonna be upgrading for not that much more. Like, let's say you spend another 10 grand on the FRS, it will never be what a Gr86 is. So spend a little extra more, boom, you have more power, everything's new, all the electronics are all much nicer, and the car handles a lot better as well because it's got a stiffer chassis. So overall, it's gonna be his big trade up. So now let's just wait for him to get here. So that's it, guys. That ends the series on the Gr86. The car is sold. I got to drive it like twice, but it was a lot of fun, you know, having this experience of flipping a car, flipping a Gr86, and having like a second one that I could have or own and add to the repertoire of all the cars that I've had and slash worked on. So pretty cool. On to the next one. So probably end up looking for another one. They seem to be pretty popular to the point where I didn't even have to like announce it. It just sold right away. So that's super nice. I'm sure Ben's gonna be super excited. I wanted to record him on video just because it's more of like a private matter. But yeah, so we got it done. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, you guys have a great day.